Hey guys, it's Snipezy Jonzu, better known as Snipezy. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing the celebratory video for hitting 1k. We're going to be doing a Q&A. So on my YouTube and Discord, I made a post for you guys to provide me with questions that you would like me to answer, and you have provided me with some lovely juicy questions. And especially to my Discord server members, you guys provided me with some really good questions, so thank you so much for doing so. I've also been considering doing a live stream where I do another Q&A, but it's a lot more like personal life related or things that are outside of games, so that could be things like TV shows, music, films, you name it. If you would like to see that on the live stream, then please let me know, because I could even post that onto my YouTube, so it's a lot less stretchy and it's more in the moment. But if you would like to see another Q&A of that sort, please let me know. But anyways, we're going to be jumping straight in, and we're going to be starting with the questions that are from Discord. So, Sora Senpai asks, what games are you looking forward to in 2021, which is the current year right now? I am so looking forward to Persona 5 Strikers, just to kick it off. I mean, I've been waiting for this game for so long, since it was announced like over a year ago, I think, and it was already in Japan quite a long time ago. I've been highly anticipating this game because I love the warrior games like Fire Emblem Warriors, you've got Hyrule Warriors, and there's even another Hyrule Warriors game which is based off Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So that's another game that I want to play from the same studio that is of the Warriors series. And I'm so looking forward to this because Persona 5 is such a perfect way to combine the Warriors games instead of the like RPG gameplay, since even though a lot of people that I know that aren't into RPGs still played Persona 5, so this is going to be a cool way for them to be introduced to that sort of style of gameplay, or at least the gameplay they'll probably, if you're more into your RPGs like The Witcher and things of that nature. But the other games I'm really looking forward to, of course, are Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, we have the new Final Fantasy edition coming maybe this year, and it's going to be the 16th one, Final Fantasy 16. Oh my god, I can't believe this. I've just been answering questions, so I'm going to be adding this in on post. But I am so looking forward to Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, where they're remaking all three of the first games. I am so excited for that. I cannot express like how much of a fan I am of Mass Effect. The games are absolutely phenomenal. I love Mass Effect 2 to death, and I've even hacked into them to do some cool things whilst I'm playing the game on my own solo campaigns, just giving characters some skills that they're not normally meant to learn, that kind of a thing. Just messing about with that. I just cannot wait for the Legendary Edition, and I'm going to be playing it day one straight away. Going to be live streaming it for sure as well, so look forward to that. Also, another one I'm really looking forward to, this is like a personal thing, Gotham Knights. I am a big fan of the Batman Arkham games, and I noticed this is like a multiplayer game, or you could even do it solo actually. And I'd love to play this with some friends to see if they'd be down to do so, because the Arkham games in my opinion are just perfectly done. An absolutely brilliant way to introduce the Dark Knight into the gaming series with the gameplay and the stealth, and to see this with the other characters of the DC Batman universe, it's going to be absolutely awesome, and I can't wait. And of course, I am highly anticipating the new Sonic game if it comes out this year, because let's be real, it was meant to be Sonic 2020 to basically build up hype for the 30th anniversary of Sonic, which is happening this year. I'm not quite sure which month, I'd have to look it up. I'm guessing it's November, but I could be wrong on that. But whenever that may be, I'm super looking forward to the new game that they are working on, that they're keeping under wraps. Apparently there's like things that are being leaked and stuff, but I'm just going to be keeping it very straightforward and just waiting until they have any trailers, until I actually make any comments on anything of that nature. But super looking forward to that. And these games are a bit more like different from the normal genre of games that I typically play on my channel. We have Resident Evil 8 Village. Very looking forward to that. If you've seen my Resident Evil 7 playthrough, you'll know that I had a great time on that game. Kind of. But it was so good with the scares and the gameplay, and they're basically bringing it back from the change-up that they did with Resident Evil 7, and it adapts onto the story that we had. It's essentially a Resident Evil 7.1 or 0.5. It's not really Resident Evil 8, since it's going to be something that is from the previous Resident Evil one to put into another one, but we'll have to see if it's as good as they say it is. So other horror games I'm looking forward to is Little Nightmares 2. I've never played the game, but I've seen the gameplay for myself from other people playing it. It looks really cool, and I haven't seen any trailers of the next one, but because the Little Nightmares game is so good, and I'd love to do a stream of that game actually, I'm really looking forward to the second one, and I'm a bit of a undercover horror game fan, but I just don't really play them myself because I'm too scared of them. That is also Back 4 Blood. I heard about this game recently. So Back 4 Blood is basically a game that is inspired from Left 4 Dead, and it's being created by a small group of people that worked on the Left 4 Dead games. I've seen gameplay of this again. I didn't actually manage to play it during a beta. There was like a beta period that was very recently, and after seeing the gameplay, I was so upset that I missed the date of the beta because I really would have played that. Actually, this was the alpha. Correction, this was an alpha, and it looked so good for an alpha. So when there's a beta drop, I'm definitely going to be checking out that game and live streaming it. I think it comes out in June, but this is definitely a game I really want to play with my friends, like, you know, my crew that I normally play Phasmophobia with. And then these are just some minor ones that I'm sort of looking forward to. There's 12 minutes. It's like a game that has different storylines, and there's different ways that you can finish the game, or at least you can get different outcomes, which seems very interesting to me. We also have The Medium. I've heard bits and bobs about this game, and it seems very interesting from what I've seen of like a teaser trailer, and it comes out this month in January. So another game I want to mention is one that was supposed to come out this year, but sadly it got delayed recently, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. This is basically a Harry Potter game, and I think it's going to be very open world, and it will have a lot of exploration within the Hogwarts realm, especially around the school, which is very exciting, because low-key I'm a very big Harry Potter fan, just saying. And in case you're wondering, I'm a Gryffindor. I'm a bit surprised about that myself, but it looks really awesome, and I'm a big fan of the rest of the games as well, the Harry Potter games. And to see this get like a really good reception, and the quality of the graphics, it's going to be a long wait. I'm going to be waiting a very long time for it, but I just hope it's as good as I think it's going to be. So our next question is from Vinmax Studios. What was your favourite game of 2020? 2020 was a bit of a rubbish year, as you may have noticed, and I feel like 2020 brought me back to multiplayer games, playing games with friends online, because I had a lot more spare time being stuck at home and not really doing anything, and as well as my friends. So I would say Phasmophobia for that, and the reason why it's my favourite game is because I am addicted to the gameplay. I'm constantly asking my friends, do you want to play, do you want to play, do you want to play? It's so much fun. I've even recorded a video to do with that game solo, just finding the ghosts, hunting them down, using the equipment. It's so much fun, and there's going to be more highlights of the Phasmophobia coming soon, by the way, so keep an eye out for that. But if I had to pick one that isn't multiplayer, it would be Final Fantasy VII Remake from this year. My goodness, such a good game, loved it so much. It's phenomenal. You'll know why I love it so much if you check out my Let's Play, but yeah. Absolutely phenomenal game. Also, this isn't technically a game, but it's still released this year. I'll have to give a shout out to the DLC of Kingdom Hearts 3, which was called Remind, and it has a lot of really cool story adaptation and like retelling of the story. At first I was like, I'm not too sure about this, but with the gameplay of like the other characters, I was like, yes, this is so good. So quick shout out to that, of course. So our next question is from DBC Legend, and I'm pretty sure that's Dragon Ball Z. If you watch anime, what was your favourite one of 2020? If not, what was your first anime cartoon show? So I didn't really watch anime this year. However, I did watch some of the Studio Ghibli films, but they're not from this year, so that's the closest thing I've had to anime this year, sadly. But the first anime that I saw, the first anime I saw ever, like a proper one, was Death Note. That got me so addicted to the show, and I was literally just on the edge of my seat like this, just like, what is going on? Like every episode there was so much going on, so hectic, so much stress, so much anticipation every single episode. I loved that show. Death Note was so good. But if we had to say like cartoon show, I guess you could kind of count Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they classed it as a cartoon since it was on kids' TV. I mean, sure. And the first one that I saw was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I loved watching that show so much when I was younger. I would always watch it on CITV. I think that was what it was on for me in the UK. Such a good show. And then after watching all of GX, I decided to check out Duel Monsters, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, yes, this is so good. But GX has a special place in my heart. and for that, that's why it's like my favourite anime that I saw of Yu-Gi-Oh! From the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So good. But it's definitely on my list of things to do is to watch more anime this year. I'd like to watch things such as Demon Hunter. But yeah, I basically have a lot of anime that I want to watch. Oh, My Hero Academia. Yes, that's another one I really want to see because I've heard great things about that show. So I want to check out that anime at some point. I'll also give a shout out to Sword Art Online. The first season, I pretty much saw all of it. Very good show. Really enjoyed it. But I haven't seen the rest of it, so I may watch it at some point, you never know. So our next question is from Little Draig, and if you don't know what Draig is, it's dragon in Welsh. He could have just called himself Draig Bach, but oh well, I'm not going to critique him on that. But he asks, what other video games are you considering streaming or considering taking an interest in? Very good question. So even though it's an all question, I'll answer both, because why not? We haven't got too many questions to go through. But the games I would love to stream are things like the Batman Arkham games. I'm obsessed with them, they are so good. Maybe something a bit different, but Black Ops Zombies, like, this is something that is close to what I loved to play when I was like in my teen years whilst I was in high school, like how Phasmophobia brought me back to my multiplayer roots. I love the Black Ops Zombies mode, it's so good. So I'd love to stream some of that, get some friends involved. Also, this is like a personal thing, I'd love to stream Oblivion. I love that game to death, it's probably one of my favourites, even though Skyrim is up there, but Oblivion, it just does something for me. I don't know, maybe it's the memes. And of course, I want to stream some other Final Fantasy games and things of that nature, maybe even Pokemon, that would be fun. And for games that I'm considering taking an interest in, something that one of my friends brought up to me recently is that they were very generous enough to give me a copy of Black Cedar? Sorry, it's called Black Mesa, correction. So Black Mesa is basically a fan-made remake of the Half-Life games, and I've heard good things about them before, and I have played the Portal games. I don't think I finished the first one, but I've done the multiplayer on Portal 2, that was very fun. And some of the other ones I would include are the ones that I've been working with for the people I work with, like GTA 5 and World of Warcraft, because I work for Sylar, and that's been getting me into the series because, believe it or not, I actually do enjoy Hearthstone. I've been doing that in my spare time recently, and Hearthstone is basically a card game that's focused and set from the World of Warcraft universe. It's definitely something that I'd like to get into, but I'm a bit overwhelmed with like how much content that game has. So at the moment, they're the games that I'm interested in, but there's probably going to be more at some point, especially this year, but we'll have to wait and see. So the next question is from Giga6152, hey there friend. So his question is, have you ever been a PC gamer or did you grow up with specific consoles? If so, which one? So I didn't grow up to be a PC gamer back in the day, but the games that I were brought up with and I grew up with were things like the GameCube. That was the one that I probably played the most. And there was also the PlayStation, the first one, and the original Xbox. But I remember spending the most amount of time with the GameCube because that's how I first got into gaming. So you had things like Super Mario Sunshine, and obviously Sonic Adventure 2, all the other Sonic games, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure DX, 1080 Avalanche. There's a wide selection of games on the library, on the GameCube library. But yeah, I'd say the GameCube is the one that I grew up with the most, and I love it to death. So our next question is from Me-Man, also known as Zord, and he asks, what first got you into making YouTube videos, and what was the first ever Sonic game that you played? So I'll answer the Sonic question part of this, but I'd say the first Sonic game that I played was probably Sonic 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I remember playing that game quite a lot when I was very young, but I probably would also say Sonic Adventure 2 was one of the first Sonic games that I played. My memory is a little bit hazy with it, with like the GameCube and like other consoles of all that nature, but I would say it's Sonic 2. So to answer the first question, I would say what first got me into it was by watching people that played games online, such as PewDiePie, Chugga Conroy, the list goes on. And there was a lot of people online that inspired me to do what I do now, and especially with my current job. I just really enjoy watching people play games, to be honest, like very chill let's play kind of style. Like at the moment I'm watching a lot of Gab Smulders, who is Jacksepticeye's girlfriend. I'm obsessed with her content right now. But they were like the inspiration that got me into making YouTube videos, those kinds of creators. And one day I'll list off my main inspirations and people that I look up to in the whole YouTube video game making thing. But this actually roots back because I technically didn't start making YouTube videos on my channel. I actually started making them on another channel. So I can't really do a too long don't read version, so I'll have to explain it. So when we were in high school, a few of my friends said, oh, what if we do our own like YouTube channel where we collab, make videos, play games together, that kind of a thing. And if you are familiar with Trioxan, also known as Jordan, who runs the Trioxan channel at the moment, if you go through the videos, you notice that my voice will be on some of them. And this was back when I was in high school. We would just play games randomly. The ones I remembered playing were White Noise, Halo, and even a Final Fantasy Let's Play that I did. And it's not great, but if you are intrigued, make sure to check out the Trioxan channel, and you may spot out some videos that I'm included in. But at the time my name was different. I think it was Snipe Assassin or it was Snipezy Guy, one of those. You'll know when it's me when you can hear my voice. But if you guys would like me to react to the first videos that I was ever in, like the first ones I was involved in, please let me know, because that'll be interesting to take a look back at how far I've come and why I can't stand myself and cringe at those videos every single time I watch them. The first question from YouTube is from DKitsef, I think I said that right. Which episode of Sonic RPG is your favourite from the hand-drawn and the sprite form episodes, and which episode do you think is the best? So I'd say my favourite hand-drawn one is probably episode 3, because it's the first time you get to fight Silkadoom. The visuals in that looked great as well, and the story started to take an interesting turn as well with that. And my favourite one with the updated sprites would be Sonic RPG episode 7, purely for nostalgia. I mentioned this in my previous marathon video, but it basically has a lot of close connections to my heart. It's the one that I've played so much. I really love the gameplay of it, and it's such a good game. And of course, like the best, hands down, there's no question about it, but episode 10 is by far the best episode. But seriously, to find out yourself, you need to play episode 10. It is so good. I love that game so much, and it's by far the best. Quite an odd one. Shadik versus Gogeta in Roblox. I was okay with this question until I hit Roblox. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Gogeta, because from the sounds of it, it's the fusion of Goku and Vegeta. So yeah, I'd say that, I guess. So Jarrell Ahmed, I think I got that name right. They ask, what's your favourite episode of Final Fantasy Sonic X? And for me, it's going to be episode 6. The visuals for that one are absolutely great. The sprites, the colourful aesthetics going on, like for the gameplay and for the look of the whole thing, I'd say is 6. The story in episode 6 is actually really good as well. I am highly anticipating episode 7 when it comes out. We've been checking out the content that's been slowly releasing of that game. Hopefully it comes soon. I'm so looking forward to episode 7. And we have another question from DKitsef, and he asks, what video games do you like and which would you recommend? So obviously I'd have to go with Pokemon, which you can see in the background. Another one, if you're into your Japanese RPGs like me, Tales of the series, the Tales of games. You have Tales of Zestiria, Tales of Berseria, all of those games. I love them to death, they are so good. I haven't played the older ones, but they are absolutely awesome, and I will get through them someday. But I love the gameplay of them. They're like real-time battle, that kind of a thing. I even have the mobile game, which is like an RPG turn-based thing, and it's called Tales of Crestoria, I think that's right. I love that mobile game. I'll play it every day, it's so much fun. Another game I'll recommend is one from Square Enix, and it's called The Last Remnant. It has a very unique style of gameplay, since it's focused on large groups of like warriors in a war, I guess. So you're controlling multiple people. It's kind of hectic at times, but it's so fun. I really enjoy the gameplay, where you can slowly upgrade characters and obtain newer characters and basically get a massive army of fighters on your side. It's a lot of fun, and it has an interesting story to it as well. I've been so close to finishing the game. Unfortunately I haven't, so maybe if I get around to streaming it, I could finish it live for you guys. That'd be pretty cool. Just for the new games, I'd say in general that are like a really good series, I would say is the Telltale games. They're very good. BioShock, another awesome series that I really like. And some of the Tomb Raider games as well, especially the updated ones that came out from Crystal Dynamics, who are from Square Enix. I remember the first one that dropped quite a long time ago. I think it was like 2014, something off that. update, but regardless, it's a phenomenal game if you're into your adventure games, but it's such a thrilling adventure as well. Just to have a super high quality HD Lara Croft game is so good, and I still need to play the last one. I have actually got it on my Steam, I just need to finish it, honestly. Again, something else I could even stream. And another game that I've been playing personally that I'd like to recommend is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've got to admit, I've been watching ChocoConroy play this, and I've been slowly pushed into the game. Started playing it myself, and now I'm slightly obsessed with it. But it's very awesome. It's a nice real-time battle game, and a series that I've never really taken an interest in, and it's definitely one that I'd like to from this point as well. So that kind of answers the question before that was answered, is I'd like to get more into the Xenoblade games, especially with the first one, because I've heard that one's really, really good. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, love it, it's so much fun. And another one that I recommend to a lot of people, especially if you are a fan of JRPGs, is one that is called Sudeki. It's a very not well known game, but I think it's highly underrated. It is again a real-time battle game, however it has some elements where you can slow down time and do some really awesome attacks, and it's not necessarily made by a Japanese or a Western company. It's made from a British one as far as I'm aware. It's kind of an old one, but if you can look past that, it's a pretty decent game. It's got an odd ending, but the story that is built up throughout is so good, I really enjoy it. And it has some interesting characters that add some variety throughout the gameplay, and you can choose between the different styles of gameplay, like you have first person and then you have third person gameplay between the different characters, so definitely worth checking out if you are into your RPGs. But that just about wraps up the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope that explains some things that I'm into and you slowly get to know more about myself. So if you'd like to see a slightly different Q&A, I'll be live streaming it. Please let me know in the comments. I'll probably just end up streaming it and be like, yo, ask me questions and see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and I will be seeing you in the next video of whatever I make next. So I will see you guys then.